Pat, welcome to Switched on Pop.
Thanks, Nate. I appreciate you having me. I hear great things about you. So far, I haven't seen any of those great things, but I'm hoping that you're about to show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I like having high expectations.
Yeah.
Speaking of high expectations, we're here in part to talk about a song that turns 25 years old this year.
Yeah.
It's your song with the band Train, Drops of Jupiter.
Yeah.
Now that she's back in the atmosphere with drops of Jupiter in her head.
I want to rattle off a few impressive stats about this song, if I may. 2 Grammys, approaching RIAA Diamond certification.
No, it's already.
It's already
Diamond, yeah.
Diamond.
I got the plaque at home to prove it. I'll sell it to you for $600.
We believe you. Oh, that's a good deal. Excuse me, 1 billion Spotify streams.
Well,
is that right? More now, maybe?
Yeah, it's more, but it doesn't matter.
Here, I'll tell you exactly. 1.2 billion.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all lies.
It remains a cultural touchstone with megastar fans from Miley Cyrus to Taylor Swift and Luke Combs, who have all covered the song on tour.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool.
Yeah. So 25 years of this song. I wanted to put that in context a little bit. If Drops of Jupiter was a young adult, the song could legally rent a car.
Yeah.
25 years, that's a long time. If you can think back to 2001 when you recorded, released the song, did you ever imagine it having this kind of longevity?
No, not at all.
No.
I've never made anything that I saw was a future movement in humanity. Because when you write songs, you try to touch something in yourself that makes you go like, oh, that feels something.
Yeah.
And I felt something, but it was like a 3.5 minute song with strings, and like nobody cared. It was not the era for that. But people cared. It was a weird time.
Performing this song for 2.5 decades, do you have a sense of what that thing is, what that spark is that people connect with, or is it still kind of a mystery?
Yeah, so I can go back to the history of the song, which was we were on Columbia Records. I still am. And at the time, we had recorded an album that was called Something More. And the president at the time was like, you don't have a first single. And a first single at that time was like a lead-off single that would get you excited about the other singles, perhaps, but it had to be a hit.
Right.
We didn't have any of those. And my mother had passed away. And so I was not in a good place to write the thing that they were looking for. And I worked for 3 months. And one night I fell asleep and woke up with this dream, basically, now that she's back in the atmosphere.
Wow.
And it was my mother basically saying, you don't have to worry about me. Like, go do your thing. I can swim through the planets and come back here with drops of Jupiter in my hair if I want. And then I turned that into a love story, and it took 15 minutes. Then I went to New York with a demo of it because the record president was about to tell me, you got to go write songs with class songwriters, which was not a part of the rule in my band. At the time, it was like we can only write together, which was not a good rule, and it kept us from being better. And before he told me anything, I handed him a disc at the time and said, this is probably nothing. I had a dream, but here's something I just wrote.
Yeah.
And by the time it went, plain old Jane told a story about him, he just goes, fucking song of the year. And then it was at a time when Almost Famous was out.
Yeah.
And so he was loving this movie and loved all of the Elton John stuff, and Paul Buckmaster was still alive, and Paul Buckmaster was the string arranger for Elton's music. So we got Paul through Columbia Records to write the string line. And
Wow.
And then my guy, Donnie Einer, who said you didn't have what it took, and then he said, now you do. He really made it happen, and we became a band that could travel all over the world.
Wow. So some artists might not like having that kind of pressure to deliver something, but was there something productive about having that
Of course.
deadline?
I mean, my theory about music, that is not music theory like you teach,
Sure.
but my theory about music and musicians is that if you don't have a deadline, you'll never finish. And if you do, you'll get the shit done.
Yeah.
And we got it done.
Yeah.
Like, we got it done later than our deadline, but it got done because we were like, we have to keep going.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, I teach music theory, and one of the reasons I'm really excited to talk with you about this song is it makes some really clever musical choices. I think that might be part of the reason it's been so resonant for so long. So I'm really excited to have this chance to you to really
let's tear it
unpack
apart.
a lot of the.
I'm
exactly.
not gonna know nearly as much as you know about this song, but I'm happy to go down it with you.
All right, we could start with the chord progression, maybe. There's a moment when we get to the chorus that I think is so effective. We're in the key of C major with this song.
The People's Key.
The people's key, indeed. The white keys, as many pianists know it. And when we get to this line about being swept off your feet, we get this.
Did the wind sweep you off your feet?
Did the wind sweep you off your feet?
The wind is the second chorus.
We get this harmonic chord that always takes me by surprise, even though I've heard the song so many times.
But tell me, did the wind sweep you off your feet? Did you finally get the chance to dance along the light of day? Yeah,
I'm a drummer, so I know very little about music. You're going to have to teach me about this song.
Well, this line gets us a chord that I wouldn't expect. It's a D major chord. In the key of C major, that's kind of doesn't really belong.
It's an odd
chord, yeah. But it gives the song this lift that feels like you're sailing across the sun, out in the Milky Way. It's like literally sending you upwards, because it's supposed to be a D minor chord according to the rules of music theory.
Yeah.
But instead it's a D major chord. Something I love about the song is, on one hand, it's pretty simple. It's like the chords just kind of rotate through a few different progressions. But on the other hand, you're making these choices that really make the song unique. And as a listener, I feel like it's part of what keeps me coming back to it over and over again is that feeling of
Chuck
surprise.
Lavelle is the piano player on that track. We at the time didn't have a piano player, and Chuck was and still plays in the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
So Chuck came in just like cowboy, and came in and he just put a bounce to it.
Yeah.
So he may have added a little bit of something to it without telling anyone, because he took it from ba da 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 to when the chorus comes, and the bridge especially is like bow da da, because piano is a percussive instrument, and Chuck plays it like it is, and we really needed that movement, and he created that.
Oh, so it's that syncopation that's so endemic to the track. We might have Chuck Lavelle
I think Chuck
to credit
was
for that.
Huge part of that. Yeah.
Some other details of the song that really draw me in. I mean, this is why I got confused actually with the choruses. Unlike a lot of pop songs, the choruses don't just repeat the same lyrics.
Right.
It actually
I say Drops
evolves.
of Jupiter one time in the entire song.
Now that she's back in the atmosphere with drops of Jupiter in her head.
So this was another problem at the time of releasing a song.
Yeah.
That's why in the beginning, for the first 15 years, it was called Drops of Jupiter Tell Me.
Parentheses. Yeah.
And because the idea was, if someone goes in for this song, they're going to say, do you have the song Tell Me?
Yeah.
Because I say Tell Me several times, but Drops of Jupiter one time. But it's a pretty memorable lyric. And so I think that's why it was able to hold up.
So that was a bit of a negotiation between
there
you
were
and...
many negotiations. Like, they didn't want soy latte in there.
The best soy latte that you ever had in
there were other negotiations, and I go, I'll try different things everywhere. And I was like, I'm not trying it.
What were their objections to those lyrics?
The soy latte was at the time not very popular, and it was said to me that it was a feminine drink. And to me, I was like, it's kind of the only thing. I don't even drink coffee at the time, but I would drink a soy latte once in a while.
I feel like time has vindicated you. Those lyrics are some of the most indelible parts of the song today.
I'm going to look up indelible, and I think it's going to be great when I find out what that means.
Some of the most memorable parts of the song. There's also a lyric about Tae Bo. I think
that's a really specific thing for me.
Oh.
She checks out Mozart while she does Tae Bo. Reminds me that there's room to grow.
So I am originally from Erie, Pennsylvania. And Tae Bo was invented by a guy named Billy Blanks, also from Erie, Pennsylvania.
No way.
And so it was a shout out to my hometown.
So those lyrics, like you said, they're very specific and they're very down to earth. I like that idea.
Quirky.
And
like, what?
Is it fair to say that's a characteristic of your songwriting?
I hope so. Like, I've always thought of there's always been two things. Like, people ask, did you ever think that you would last this long? And I was like, yeah, because, and the reason is like, we knew in the first, 5 to 10 years, we're not going to be the biggest band in the world, but maybe we can outlast them all. That was always my goal, like outlast everybody, because the marathon's more fun than the sprint. And the second is in creating this music and seeing if it would last. It's like, it really depends on the people that this music touches. And, I'll play golf with 30-year-old kids that ask me about the music that I've made because they learn train music from a car seat. And that's cool. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Their moms liked, our music, and then without them even knowing, it affected them forever.
Well, that combination of something specific and something universal, I feel like that's such a great formula for a successful song.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is I've always felt that we are a romantic comedy.
Ooh.
Like, you should be able to laugh and cry while listening to what we do.
Wow.
Or come to a Train concert and have a specific emotional moment and then laugh at 50 Ways to Say Goodbye because it's so ridiculous.
She went down in an airplane, fried, getting suntan, got in a cement mixer full of quicksand. Help me, I'm no good at goodbye.
Without those two things, I don't think music is that fun. Like, I've been going to a lot of heavy metal concerts because my 14-year-old son is obsessed with like Zakk Wylde. And we went and saw Black Label Society, and it's so great. Like, I love it. Like, such heavy guitar and such jam singing and everything. But when Zakk sits down and plays piano and he like dedicates a moment to old friends of his, that's a very meaningful moment. Yeah. Without that, then the rest doesn't make sense anymore.
You know what else that reminds me of is Mozart, who gets name-checked in these lyrics.
She checks out Mozart while she does Tae Bo. Reminds me that there's room to grow.
Very different from Zakk Wylde, but there's always, I'm a big Mozart fan.
Me too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
but you would know like, if you start asking me for names of songs, but the melodies that Mozart created were, I mean,
iconic.
How old are they? 500 years old now?
Yes. Yeah, he died in 1791, I think. So, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is.
That's different than anybody.
I think there's something about Mozart where, because it made me think of what you were just saying. There's a lot of grief and pain, but there's also a lot of joy and exultation.
It's the Greek tragedy.
Yeah.
It's the... What is the sad face and the happy face?
Oh, the Giannis face.
That's every song, every piece of art you see should be that to me.
You mentioned the string arrangement on Drops of Jupiter by Paul Buckmaster. And I feel like that's another element that gives the song that...
It's a huge, huge part of, I think,
Yeah.
why the song was successful.
Yeah.
Just like, Jan,
Yeah.
you know, like he could have done long. He was a magical writer.
Let's listen to a little bit of that.
He won a Grammy for that song.
Well deserved.
Head back to the Milky Way. Tell me, Venus, blow your mind. Was it everything you wanted to find? And then you missed me while you were looking for yourself out there.
And he takes a breath.
Yeah. What made you feel that Paul was the right person for this
I didn't have a
arrangement?
choice.
Oh, well, there you
Yeah,
go.
it was the president of Columbia Records. He was like, we're getting Paul Buckmaster. And I was like, okay.
It's a very simple answer.
Yeah.
There's something about hearing those strings that gives the song, I don't know, a depth or like a gravitas, maybe.
Gravitas is a really good word for that.
Yeah. And when I think about other songs that came out in 2001, Drops of Jupiter breaks the mold in a lot of ways.
That's why, for me, it was like, this song's going nowhere. The first time I ever heard it, I was in Erie, Pennsylvania, because I was back and forth between there and San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I heard it on a college radio station at like 9 o'clock at night. And I just remember thinking, that thing took forever to finish.
Yeah.
Because it was longer than any song these kids were going to play the whole rest of the week. And I thought that was going to keep us from, because a lot of times you'll have edits, and we never edited this song.
Oh, wow. So you're saying you heard it on the radio and
And it
you
was
had-
like almost 4 minutes long when everything else is, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And I was like, this is going to be tough.
Yeah. This song has been covered many times, as I mentioned earlier. And I think one of the really notable ones is from a pretty small unknown artist named Taylor Swift. When I mentioned to my students that I was speaking to you this morning in my class, they knew Drops of Jupiter
Through her.
through Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
They didn't know. Some
know.
of them didn't know it was a
She
cover.
covered Hey Soul Sister as well, yeah.
She covered Hey Soul Sister as
And
well.
then I performed Drive By with her years ago at the Barclay Center in New York.
Could we listen to a little bit of Taylor's version of
Yeah, it's great.
Drops of Jupiter? This is live from the 2011 Speak Now tour.
Well, tell me, did you sail across the sun?
Pretty nice.
Did you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights
Got a good
all
ass voice.
faded?
Yeah.
That heaven is overrated. Tell me, did you fall for a shooting star? One without a permanent scar. And did
She
you
got the
miss
lyric right
me
too, fall
while
for
you
a shooting star.
Oh, really? Is that a common blunder?
Yeah, so there's two lyrics that people miss. One is fall from a shooting star when
yeah.
it's fall for. Because it was like a love story. Did you fall for a shooting star? Somebody that's not going to make the distance with you. One without a permanent scar, because I have so many scars all over me. And the other was I got a lot of heat because at the time the internet was just starting to become a way to communicate. And I got a lot of grief from Van Halen fans because they thought I was saying, and Van Halen is overrated. And they were like, I will kill you. And I was like, dude, I love Van Halen. What are you even talking about?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Maybe not a fan base you want to cross necessarily,
No.
but
Or not one that I ever would. I'm a huge Van
that's
Halen
funny.
fan.
I've never heard that one. Okay. I actually have a problem with Taylor's cover.
Okay.
I don't want to say anything bad about
I wouldn't
her.
say this to your students tomorrow, by the way.
No, I know this is going to be controversial, but I talked about how much I love that D major chord.
But tell me, did the wind sweep you off your feet? Did you finally get the chance to dance along?
And when she covers it,
don't-
she
they
doesn't
don't play
play that D major chord.
Yeah.
She plays a D minor chord instead.
Tell me, did
There can only be one original, Nate.
Well, I'm being a little facetious. I think it's a beautiful cover. But I guess what I really want to ask is what it's like to write a song, release it into the world, and then you're not in control of it anymore.
Yeah, you're not
really.
supposed to be.
What? But does that? I feel like that would give me some anxiety. Honestly, I would say you're doing it wrong.
You would get over it.
You would. Okay.
Because it's also, that would be like holding on to what you wrote the song about and then wanting everyone to interpret it the same way. Like, I don't want anyone to interpret it the way I interpret it. I want them to see their children and their lover and their whoever they want to see when they sing the song, in the shower or at these concerts. It's not my story. And if she wants to not add the D like that, that is her, that's her way of expressing that.
See, that surprises me because a song with such a personal and a poignant backstory.
Until you send it out, then it's not. It can always mean what it means to me. But once you release it, you have no control. And why would you? I don't want somebody to tell me why to like their music.
Is that attitude something you try to foster in terms of the reception of the band in general too? I'm thinking of like something I came up when I was researching. There was a SNL skit a few years ago about Hey Soul Sister. I guess there was a skit also on SNL like 10 years ago, maybe.
Yep. With Maroon 5.
With Maroon 5. When you are in the public like that and people are taking your work and doing comedic skits about it, like what kind of attitude do you have to take to...
if you're young, you can get your feelings hurt, and if you're not, it's like, keep it going.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first time I think I heard someone speak negatively of us. It was Patton Oswalt, the comedian. And I heard him do a live performance, and he talked about what a shitty band Train was and everything. And I was like really bummed out because I was a Patton Oswalt fan.
Yeah.
And then I realized I'm just going to outlast it. And I promise you he wouldn't say that today. And so I don't want to be mad at people for feeling the way they feel about certain things. And they should express themselves however they like and without me getting weird about it. Like, I have opinions about people. And then, I also, there are certain comedians that if they did like Train, I'd be bummed out. You know what I mean? It doesn't fit their profile. You're supposed to hate us.
That's an interesting way to think about it, yeah.
Like, comedy wins in my band. It wins over music.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody came in and like, dude, did you hear this song? I'd be like, who cares?
Yeah.
You got any good jokes? Like, it's just like life is too short to not laugh all the time.
Like you were saying earlier, it's the romantic comedy approach.
Yeah.
Is there a limit to that though? Like you're telling me people take your music, they do what they will with it, but would you ever draw the line? What if there was a techno remix of Drops of Jupiter?
Oh, we've done techno remixes of like Hey Soul Sister and stuff. That have been pretty fun and
all right,
successful.
So no objections.
Yeah, there's nothing off limits. I guess if someone created a Train cover band and it did better than us,
that might be
and sold more tickets and more records, I'd be like, this is a bummer.
The lawyers involved, yeah. Okay, I think that seems like a healthy philosophy to have.
Well, it's my philosophy. It doesn't mean it's healthy. It's just, there's so much shit to worry about.
Yeah.
Why worry about that?
Well, that's good advice. I could talk about this song forever. So I want to go back to this idea of the song evolving over the course of it.
Over the course of time? Or over the course of the song?
Great distinction. No, I think first over the course of the song. Like this line, tell me, did Venus blow your mind? There's something about that every time I hear it, because when in the first chorus, it's tell me, did you fall for a shooting star? And then I'm kind of expecting that line again, but instead I get something new, something that expands the narrative, expands the world of the song.
And it's, it's to do with the planets. And Venus can be a woman or a planet or whatever. Like, did that person blow your mind? Or did that seeing Venus for the first time? It's all related.
It's all related. Well, there's like maybe a textbook way to write a song, which is the chorus just repeats as is every time. But something about Drops of Jupiter, the chorus evolves, and then we get to the outro, and we just have these wordless choruses, which I find...
Na, na, na.
Na, na, na. Yeah.
And then you finally get the chance to dance along a lot of days.
You know what's funny? When that song went to the radio, I'm a fan of Journey, and Steve Perry ended up calling Brendan O'Brien, who was the producer on it, just to tell him how excited he was that there was another Na 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 song out there. Because Steve Perry's got several of them, like na 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 na. So that was pretty fun. And then that's the sing-along. Like, it's hard not to end the night with that song. There's not really something you can follow it up with.
Some artists might have a negative relationship with a song of this success. Maybe even a little resentment. I have to play this over and over again. I'm trapped. But I don't sense that. I sense that you have a real love for this song.
What a crazy thing to be upset about. I mean, no one has ever claimed that I'm emotionally mature, but I gotta tell you, it certainly feels like I am.
Yeah.
Because if I knew somebody who didn't want to sing that song because why should I? Like, I'm better than that song. Like, are you? I mean, I'm not a famous guy, but I have famous songs, and that's way better life.
Ooh. Oh, tell me about that.
That's a way better life. I can go wherever I want, and no one cares at all. But if I start singing Drops of Jupiter in the middle of the street, they're like, oh, shit, I knew it. But that's a great life.
Wow, that's the sweet spot.
When you're young, you're like, oh, I'm so sad I'm not famous. And then you get to my age, and you're like, oh, what a brutal life some of these people have to live through.
You're not resting on your laurels, despite that success.
No, I'm still competitive.
You've got...
I want to arm wrestle you right now so bad.
That would be a first for the podcast.
I would lose, but it'd be a real doozy.
Excited. We might get a lot of views if we did that, but we'll keep it civil, I think. Just for now.
It's very brown, very Ivy.
Well, I was well trained, Pat. Your new song is The Weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to talk about this. Let's listen together from the opening.
Cool.
I don't talk about the weekend. You don't really know if you're a good friend.
Oh, that's you singing?
And I
No
can't
way.
take another headline. Saying things are gonna
It's a barn burner, Pat.
It's a barn burner?
Yeah.
What are you, 40?
Yeah, almost. one more week. I'll wait a week, and then maybe I could start using that
Man,
one.
barn burner. That's a oldie but goodie.
Yeah,
I knew that when it was created.
It felt appropriate for this one. It's got a real bluesy backwoods feel to it.
We're trying to stay Rolling Stones. We have a deep rock roots, but we also have a big pop roots.
Yeah.
So we're trying to just be what we are naturally, and it's more guitar-driven rock.
Yeah.
This album would be more guitar-driven rock.
And the lyrics are very intriguing to me. Here's the opening verse. I don't talk about the weekend. You already know if you're a good friend, and I can't take another headline saying things are going to be fine. Kind of defies your expectations. The Weeknd, you're thinking like, oh, you know, what's that song? Coldplay, Hymn for the Weeknd. You know, the Weeknd as this like form of release or freedom.
That's exactly what that chorus is supposed to be, is
Yeah.
a release from all the other stuff.
Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah, yeah. Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah, yeah.
But the point in the entire song is, let's all go have the weekend and then keep that trap shut until next weekend.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's a few things. This song is mostly about social media.
Oh.
So I don't talk about the weekend because, and I know this is a wrong quote, right? But the lady doth protest too much. That's an incorrect quote, but it's close to that.
Yeah.
And what Shakespeare is saying is this over excitement is not real. So when you see social media and everyone's posting, you know, I'm on a jet and I'm on a yacht and I have the best life ever, and then, you know, they're in a divorce 2 weeks later. It's all pretend. And what I'm saying is I don't have to talk about that shit.
Yeah.
You'd already know if you knew me. That's real. And so let's go have a beautiful time together.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to post because we're living it.
Well, the musical choices might support that. It's raw. It's mainly, I'm not sure if, I'm not hearing any like electronic instruments. I might be wrong, but
There's electric guitars.
there's electric guitar, right.
Yeah.
But no synthesizers. It feels very,
Yeah. And
organic
there's
to
real
me.
piano,
There's
but not
real
like
piano.
synths and stuff. Yeah.
and then your voice has some distortion on it, maybe?
Maybe, but it's mostly just me
It's mostly
grinding
just
it
you.
out.
It's got that grit to it. So now I'm hearing those sounds in a different context. It's like
Yeah.
these are real sounds. They're authentic sounds. They're not polished and
Right.
face tuned, I guess. I might be stretching, but I wonder if there's not a few moments here that actually connect back to Drops of Jupiter. We've got some wordless vocals in this song, which I really like. Some na-na-nas in The Weeknd.
La la la.
La la las. Thank you for-
Don't
thank
ever
you for the
get those
correction.
mistaken. Oh my God. La las and nanas.
La-las
Totally different.
And never the twain shall meet. Yeah. No, that was a rookie mistake, Pat. I hope. We'll edit that out.
What did you say? Never the twain shall meet?
Yeah. I was trying to match your Shakespeare reference.
so professor.
Earliest. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the la la las, it's basically saying, here's some bad news. La la la. Because it's so incredible what the real truth of people are. You know, it's the words are like, if you need the world to look at you, la la la, just remember what folks are going through. And then you're like, oh shit. And then you're like, la la la. So it's comedy. It's like, here's what you guys look like. But it's la la la.
La la la. I
It's
can
comedy.
imagine, not na na na, but la la la. And I can imagine this just being so triumphant live. Is it another moment where
For me,
people
I'd
sing
love
along?
I'd love to see it on like ESPN. So this thing impacts at radio, and like we'll really go after it in April.
Yeah.
And when we do private shows, before we play the song, I always teach the audience, are you ready for the weekend? Yeah. So by the time we get to the chorus, they already know it.
Yeah.
And I think it's that a memorable chorus. But if you listen to the whole song, it's not about, it's partly about the weekend, but it's more about just mind your own business.
Mind your own business. And it's
Because it's cooler. It's cooler to mind your own business.
in an age of oversharing. I love the reference to Watergate in the second verse.
Yeah, if you're looking for controversy,
Yeah.
go find something else.
So if you need
Watergate, that's another one of these references that keep coming up in your music. Something so specific that as a listener, I latch on to that and it draws me into the world of the song. I'm not saying it's the same as, Tae Bo or something like that, but I love that you can always hear these anchors in your music.
Yeah, I've always wanted to add proper nouns to music. Because the proper noun is the thing you listen to.
Yeah.
Dear Prudence.
That's right.
Like, you hear one woman's name and you're already in. Like, that proper noun matters. But if it was like, hey, baby, you're like, I'm good.
I suppose the flip side of that is, do those references not age as well over time? But
I think that's the trick of songwriting.
Yeah.
So Tae Bo should not have, because no 12-year-old knows what that is. Soy lattes have outlasted.
Yes.
Fried chicken has outlasted. Mozart has outlasted.
Still going strong. Yeah.
So I'm getting lucky. I'm 3 for 4.
3 for 4. Those are good odds. Pat, it's been such a pleasure to get to talk with you about Drops of Jupiter and your new song, The Weekend. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Nate. You're a smart, lovely guy with great questions, and the fact that you're going to get me an honorary doctorate at USC.
Okay. I might have to pull a few strings, but I'm sure we can work
So how long have you been a
out.
doctor of music?
I got my PhD in 2016, so 10 years. Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
When you get a doctorate like that, do you feel like you're validated?
Well, I feel that for a long time when I was a grad student, I was looking up at my professors and I was thinking, how am I ever going to be as smart and wise as these people? And it felt significant to get that piece of paper, even though it's just a piece of paper that says you are the expert now. And I remember those classes where the professors couldn't connect, and I always thought I want to learn from that. Yeah.
Like when I'm on tours, I remember who I learned how not to be and who I want to be more like.
Oh, really? Like you're watching backstage and
all of it,
taking it all in.
Yep.
Thanks again, Pat. This has been a blast.
All right. Appreciate it.